For over 2,000 years, a secret has been hidden in plain sight. A secret so powerful that when truly understood, it transforms penniless immigrants into millionaires, struggling artists into wealthy creators, and ordinary people into magnets for abundance. I discovered this secret when I was 38 years old, serving in the Army during World War II. My commanding officer, Colonel Theodore Bilbao, Jr., had just denied my application for honorable discharge, signing it disapproved with finality. I had no appeal beyond him, no higher authority I could petition. Yet 9 days later, that same colonel called me into his office and honorably discharged me, signing the very paper he had previously denied. I had not spoken to him, not influenced him through any external means. The transformation happened through pure consciousness. You found this message because your consciousness is ready to receive what changed everything for me and thousands I taught. By the time you finish listening, you'll understand why your financial struggles were inevitable, why your breakthrough is imminent, and why your abundance is guaranteed when you apply what I'm about to teach you. The secret that changes everything is this: money is not a thing to be acquired, but a state of consciousness to be entered. Most people have this completely backwards. They believe consciousness follows conditions that when they have money, then they'll feel wealthy. This is the fundamental error that keeps them trapped in poverty consciousness, no matter how much they earn or accumulate. But consciousness is cause, not effect. Your state of consciousness creates your conditions, not the other way around. When you enter the consciousness of wealth, when you assume the feeling of being rich, the conditions must follow to match your assumption. Let me tell you exactly how I proved this principle. When Colonel Bilbao denied my discharge, I could have accepted his decision as final. Instead, that night I went to bed in my barracks, surrounded by other soldiers, and dared to assume I was already home in New York City as a civilian. I lay in my bunk and imagined I was in my apartment in Times Square, sleeping in my own bed while my wife slept in hers, and our little girl was in her crib. I walked through my apartment in imagination, touching familiar objects, feeling the reality of being home as an honorably discharged civilian, not on furlough, but permanently free. At 4 o'clock that morning, I had a vision. A large white sheet appeared with the word disapproved, signed by Colonel Theodore Bilbao, Jr. Then a hand appeared with a pen, scratched out disapproved, and wrote approved in bold script. A voice said, "That which I have done, do nothing." 9 days later, Colonel Bilbao called me in and discharged me, the same man who had denied me just days before. This is the power of consciousness. Assumption hardens into fact. The first key to attracting riches is understanding that your I am is your creative power. Whatever you assume after the words I am becomes your experience. Most people unknowingly use these sacred words to create poverty. They say, "I am broke, I am struggling, I am unlucky with money." Each time they make these declarations, they're commanding their subconscious mind to create evidence of these states. But when you understand that I am is the name of God dwelling within you, you begin to use this power consciously. Let me share a documented case that proves this principle works for others, not just myself. Years ago, a woman approached me during my lectures in San Francisco. She stood before an audience of approximately 1,000 people and said, "My brother is in the Army. I don't know what he did, but I know he has been court-martialed and sentenced to 6 months of hard labor. Neville, if I believe you, can I not set my brother free?" I replied, "Yes, but only to the degree that you are self-persuaded that he is free." 1 week later, this same woman stood up and told her story. "Believing you last week, when I returned home to my second-floor apartment, I sat in my living room and imagined I heard the doorbell. Then I ran down the stairs, opened the front door, and threw my arms around my brother. I rehearsed that scene over and over till I could hear the doorbell ring, feel the banister in my right hand, and my feet moving down the stairs. The doorknob became solidly real in my hand, and I could see, touch, and feel my brother's presence. She concluded, last Wednesday evening, as I was dwelling upon my brother's return, the doorbell rang and I instantly knew it was he. I ran down the stairs, opened the door, and there was my brother. He told me that the army had reviewed his case and changed their judgment, setting him free with an honorable discharge. This is the power you possess right now. Every moment, you're assuming something about your financial condition. The question is, are you assuming wealth or poverty? The second key is mastering what I call living in the end. This means you must psychologically move to the end of your desire. You must feel yourself into the state of already being wealthy, not becoming wealthy. Most people live in the middle, in the struggle, in the process, in the hope that someday they'll have money. But the creative law doesn't respond to future desires. It only responds to present assumptions. You must assume you already are what you want to become. Here's exactly how to practice this. I call it the state aching to sleep technique. The SATS method for wealth. Step 1. As you're falling asleep tonight, construct a simple scene that implies you already have the money you desire. Don't visualize getting the money, assume you already have it. Step 2. Choose one specific scene. Perhaps you're checking your bank balance and seeing the amount you want. Maybe you're writing a check for something you've always wanted to buy, or simply feeling the relief and security of being financially free. Step 3. Make this scene vivid, but brief, just 5 to 10 seconds long. Feel the reality of it. Don't think about how it happened or when it will happen. Just feel it as real now. Step 4. Loop this scene repeatedly as you drift off to sleep. The drowsy state is when your subconscious is most receptive. Fall asleep in the feeling of wealth, not the desire for wealth. I use this exact technique for my military discharge. I didn't imagine getting discharged. I assumed I was already home as a civilian. The subconscious accepted this as fact and created the conditions to match my assumption. This is living in the end. You don't wait for conditions to change before you feel wealthy. You feel wealthy now, and conditions change to match your feeling. The third key is understanding that feeling is the secret. It's not enough to think about wealth or visualize money. You must feel yourself into the state of being rich. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to thoughts or mental pictures. It responds to feelings, to the emotional conviction that your desire is already real. When you can feel yourself into the state of wealth with such reality that it produces the same emotions you would have if you were actually rich, you have successfully impressed your subconscious. Let me share another remarkable documented case. A woman I knew well called me excited about a proposal. Years earlier, I'd walked her down the aisle at her wedding because she had no father. She said, "Neville, will you hear for me that I have $10 million? I will give you $1 million if you will hear for me that I have $10 million. Now, this woman had no money, and her husband ran a small church, not much bigger than a room, and they struggled financially. But I said to her, I don't care if you want $1 billion. Words do not return void if you send them out on the light. So I heard it for her. I assumed she already had the $10 million, feeling it as completely real. 6 months later, she called with incredible news. Neville, my brother, has received an estate of $100 million. But here's the remarkable part. Even though the estate would take years to settle, she was now living from the consciousness of wealth, and the field began to reorganize around her new state. She called me later with the most incredible news. 2 elderly ladies came into our church meeting. They didn't look like they could contribute a dime. They were dressed so plainly. But they said to us, "Do you have a mortgage on this place?" When we told them the amount, they said, "All right, we will take care of it." These ladies paid off the mortgage on both her house and the church, 100%, bought her a new car, and set up a trust fund for $1,000 a month for the rest of her earthly days. This is why mere visualization often fails. People visualize what they want while feeling what they don't want. But the subconscious only responds to feeling. You must feel wealthy to become wealthy. Right now, I want you to take action on what you've learned so far. In the comments below, write these exact words: I assume wealth is my natural state. This simple declaration will begin to shift your consciousness from poverty to prosperity. When you publicly declare your assumption of wealth, you're programming your subconscious mind to seek evidence of this truth. And here's something special for those ready to go deeper. There's a practical guide called the Manifest Reset. 5 shifts that help you feel it real, even when it feels impossible. These aren't just theories, but practical techniques you can use when you feel stuck or have lost your center. Simply comment "real" below, and you'll get access to the Manifest Reset Guide. This contains the exact resets that help rewire your manifestation axis back into its natural creative power. Make that comment now, then continue listening, because what I'm about to reveal next will show you the most powerful technique I ever taught. The 4th key is what I call the ladder technique, the most practical demonstration of how assumption becomes fact. I taught this to thousands of students, and it never failed when properly applied. Here's exactly how to do it. The ladder technique for proving assumption. Step 1. For the next 3 nights, as you fall asleep, imagine yourself climbing a ladder. See yourself going up rung by rung. Feel the ladder, feel yourself climbing. Make it vivid and real. Step 2. During the day, affirm the opposite. I will not climb a ladder. I am not climbing a ladder. Affirm this throughout the day, contradicting your nightly assumption. Step 3. Continue this for 3 days, climbing the ladder in imagination at night, denying it during the day. Step 4. Watch what happens. Within those 3 days, circumstances will present you with a ladder to climb. You might need to change a light bulb, reach something high, help someone with maintenance. Something will require you to physically climb a ladder. I told my students, if you do not climb a ladder within 3 days, do not come back to this lecture. Every single person came back because every single person had climbed a ladder, despite their conscious denial of it during the day. Then I would say to them, you could have done the same thing imagining being a millionaire. This technique proves that assumption persisted in becomes fact, regardless of conscious denial or external circumstances. Your imagination is the creative power that shapes your reality. Now apply this to wealth. Instead of a ladder, imagine yourself in the state of financial abundance. Feel it real for just a few minutes each night, and watch your financial circumstances begin to shift. The 5th key is the power of repetition without force. Most people try to force their desires into manifestation through desperate effort and emotional strain. This creates resistance, not results. True manifestation comes through gentle, persistent repetition, what I call mental rehearsal. You don't need to feel overwhelming excitement or emotion. You need consistent assumption. The mental rep technique. Step 1. Choose a 5-second scene that implies your financial desire is fulfilled. You're texting a friend, it happened, or looking at your bank app showing $10,000, or sipping wine on the balcony of your new place. Step 2. Practice this scene twice daily. Once in the morning when you wake up, once at night before sleep. Just imagine it briefly, naturally, without strain. Step 3. Don't try to force emotion or excitement. Simply assume it's real. If it feels flat or ordinary, that's perfect. When something is normal and natural, we don't get excited about it. Step 4. Continue this gentle repetition daily. Your imagination isn't broken, it's just underused. Like building muscle, consistency matters more than intensity. As I taught, to the degree that you are self-persuaded, it is done. But persuasion is not magic. It's not a burst of emotional fireworks. It's repetition. It's gentle reinforcement. It's giving yourself permission to practice belief, not force it. This technique builds assumption gradually and naturally, without the mental resistance that blocks manifestation. The 6th key is the power of revision, to change your financial story. Most people are trapped by their past financial experiences, constantly recreating patterns of lack because their subconscious holds memories of limitation. But you can literally revise your past to create a new financial future. This isn't fantasy. It's the practical application of consciousness as the only reality. The revision technique for wealth. Step 1. Each night before sleep, review your day for any experiences that reinforce financial limitation. Perhaps you worried about a bill, felt anxious about money, or experienced lack in any form. Step 2. Revise these experiences. If you worry about paying rent, revise it so you felt completely secure and abundant. If someone made you feel poor, revise it so they treated you as wealthy and successful. Step 3. Don't just think about what you wish should happen. Actually experience the revised version. Feel the emotions, hear the conversations, see the scenes as if they had actually occurred that way. Step 4. Go to sleep with these revised memories, not the original limitations. You're literally updating your subconscious database of financial experiences. When you consistently revise your past financial experiences to match abundance rather than lack, you change the vibrational pattern from which your future manifests. Your subconscious, holding only memories of wealth and security, begins creating experiences that match this new pattern. I taught this technique to students who completely transformed their financial lives simply by revising their daily experiences to support wealth rather than lack. Past, present, and future exist only in consciousness, and consciousness can be revised. The seventh key is understanding that your word is law in your own consciousness. Whatever you decree about your financial condition becomes your experience through the creative power of your own assumption. Most people unknowingly use their creative word to perpetuate lack. They say, I can't afford it, thinking they're stating facts, when actually they're creating facts. Every word you speak about money is either building wealth consciousness or reinforcing poverty consciousness. The word transformation practice. Step 1. Become aware of your automatic financial language. Notice when you say, I can't afford, money doesn't come easily, I'm always broke, or similar limitations. Step 2. Create replacement statements that assume abundance. I choose not to buy that right now instead of I can't afford it. Money flows to me naturally instead of money is hard to come by. Step 3. When you catch yourself using limiting language, immediately revise it. Don't just think the new words, speak them aloud if possible, or firmly in your mind. Step 4. Begin using language that assumes wealth is already yours. When I buy my new house, not if I ever buy a house, my wealth allows me to help others, not if I ever have money. Remember, you're not lying or pretending. You're speaking from the assumption of your desired state, and your word has the power to create that state in your experience. Your word is creating your experience right now. Every time you speak about your financial condition, you're either reinforcing limitation or declaring freedom. Choose your words carefully. They are the tools with which you sculpt your reality. The eighth and final key is using gratitude as a wealth magnet. When you're grateful for the wealth you already have, no matter how small it may seem, you activate the law that increases whatever you appreciate. Most people practice gratitude backwards. They think they'll be grateful when they have more money. But gratitude is the consciousness that attracts more abundance. You must be grateful for wealth to attract wealth. The gratitude wealth practice. Step 1. Each morning, identify 5 forms of abundance already present in your life. The air you breathe freely, the water from your tap, the food in your refrigerator, the roof over your head, your ability to read and understand these words. Step 2. Feel genuine appreciation for these gifts. Don't just think I'm grateful. Actually feel the emotion of gratitude for the abundance that surrounds you. Step 3. Throughout the day, when you notice any form of wealth or abundance, from a beautiful sunset to a helpful stranger to money in your pocket, pause and feel grateful. Step 4. Before sleep, assume you're grateful for the financial abundance that's flowing to you. Feel thankful for money that's on its way, for opportunities that are forming, for the wealth that's already yours in consciousness. Gratitude is not the result of abundance. Gratitude is the cause of abundance. What you appreciate, appreciates. As these 8 keys integrate into your consciousness, you begin to operate from wealth consciousness rather than poverty consciousness. You recognize money not as something outside yourself that you must struggle to obtain, but as the natural expression of your abundant consciousness. You understand that your I am is your creative power, and you use it to assume wealth rather than lack. You live in the end of your desire through sex, feeling yourself into the state of already being prosperous. You practice the ladder technique to prove assumption becomes fact. You use mental reps for gentle, consistent assumption building. You revise your past financial experiences to support abundance. You transform your language to decree wealth rather than limitation. You practice gratitude for existing abundance, which multiplies the abundance you're grateful for. This shift in understanding automatically shifts your experience. Like the woman whose brother was freed from court-martial, like the church woman who received millions in gifts, like my own honorable discharge, people and circumstances will move to support your new assumption. Money will begin flowing to you naturally because you've aligned your consciousness with the laws that govern its movement. The transformation occurs at the level of consciousness first, then manifest in physical experience. This is not positive thinking, but practical application of the law of consciousness. When you truly understand how money flows, you position yourself in the stream of abundance rather than swimming against it. You realize that your previous financial struggles were not personal failures, but simple misunderstanding of how wealth operates. You were working against the law of consciousness rather than with it. Now you understand, and understanding changes everything. If what I've shared resonates with your deepest knowing, I want you to take action right now. In the comments below, write these words: I assume wealth is my natural state. This declaration programs your subconscious mind with a new assumption about your relationship with money. It aligns your consciousness with abundance rather than lack. It activates the creative forces within you to seek evidence of your wealth. For those serious about mastering this completely, remember the Manifest Reset Guide I mentioned. Reset number 1 helps you stop forcing the feeling. Reset number 2 shows you how to shift from seeking to having. Reset number 3, about letting go without giving up, has helped more people break through resistance than any other technique. If you haven't already, comment real below to receive the Manifest Reset Guide. These are 5 practical shifts that work with your consciousness naturally, not against it. The secret I've shared with you today, that riches rush to those who understand the creative power of consciousness, is just the beginning of what's possible when you truly grasp the nature of reality as I've taught it. If you want to go even deeper into these principles, I've prepared something special for you. My teaching, Assume Everything is Already Yours, reveals exactly how to apply the law of assumption to every area of your life, not just wealth. It shows you how to assume your way into your ideal relationship, perfect health, creative success, and complete fulfillment. I encourage you to watch it next, because when you understand how to assume everything is already yours, you become unstoppable in creating the life you desire. Remember, assumption hardens into fact. What are you assuming about your life right now? Whatever it is, it's becoming your reality. Choose your assumptions wisely, for they are the building blocks of your tomorrow. Riches rush to those who understand this. Now you understand. Now you can create the abundant life that has always been your birthright in consciousness. Start tonight with the SATS technique. Choose your 5-second wealth scene. Fall asleep feeling rich, not wanting riches, and watch your world transform to match your inner conviction.